Hi, trust you're doing great. In one of our earlier videos, we saw how the game begins before it actually begins. The importance of preparation. Today, I'm going to take you to Montreal. The year is 1976. 1976 Montreal Olympics, Montreal in Canada. Now, it's the gymnastics arena. A 14-year-old girl from Romania is performing. Her name is Nadia Comaneci. Now she has a wonderful performance, but she never bothers to look at the scoreboard. She never did, because she knew how much she's going to score. And once this performance was over, she was expecting a score of about 9.8, 9.9. Now, surprisingly, the scoreboard is blank. It is blank for quite some time. There's a lot of discussions happening, there's a lot of commotion, but the scoreboard is absolutely silent. She was wondering what was happening, her team members were wondering what was happening, the spectators were wondering what was happening. Now, I have to tell you something connected to this. A few months before the Olympics, Omega, the official timer of the event, had actually approached the International Gymnastics Federation and asked, do we need to put up 10 on our scoreboards? Do we need to make a provision for 10? Because there was no provision for 10 till then. And the senior officials of the International Gymnastics Federation, they said very clearly, no, not at all. It is not required. Nobody, absolutely nobody in our sport is ever going to score 10, so you don't have to bother about 10 at all. Now coming back to the arena. Scoreboard is silent, people are discussing, people are wondering what is happening, and all of a sudden there was a writing on the scoreboard which read 1.0. Nadia Comaneci was shocked, her team was shocked, the entire spectators were shocked, people didn't know what was happening. And then came the announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, we have written 1.0 on the scoreboard. Kindly read it as 10. It was a 10 out of 10, which we call the perfect 10 now. It was the first time somebody was scoring a 10 on 10, the perfect 10, which was considered humanly impossible before that. Now, Nadia Comaneci achieved this feat at the age of 14. Now, she started gymnastics at the age of 6, and it is said that she used to practice 16 hours a day. Yes, you heard me right, 16 hours a day. Just imagine, in the first video we discussed how we can arrive at a recipe, a unique formula, our own formula to identify what exactly we need to do. Imagine you discover what you want to do and then do it like this on a daily basis. You ought to become a genius. You will become a genius, won't you? Now that's the story of Nadia Comaneci, one of the greatest ever sports personalities to have graced events like Olympics. Now, Lance Armstrong, the very famous / infamous cyclist from the US who won the Tour de France titles many times. He is the ultimate example of human endurance. He fought testicular cancer, came back to life and became the Tour de France champion many times. Now, he very famously remarked once that I didn't win even a single title of my Tour de France titles on the day when I actually won it. What does it mean? He goes on to say, I won it months before that every year. When everybody was sleeping, I woke up very early in the morning, took my bike out and started practicing every day. That's when I won it, not on the day when I actually won it. Now let's move away from sport for a while. Pablo Picasso, the world-renowned artist, very revered artist. He had a lot of fans across the globe, but one of his greatest fans was a lady. Once she was walking on the street and saw a very familiar face on the other side of the street. She had a second look and she realized that it was Picasso. She didn't waste any time. She crossed over very quickly to him, stood in front of him and said and exclaimed, Mr. Picasso, I can't believe my eyes. I'm pinching myself. I can't believe that I'm standing in front of my hero. Picasso said, relax, we'll have a chat. They had a fairly long conversation, at the end of which the lady said, Mr. Picasso, can I have something from you as a souvenir, as a token of our meeting? And Picasso asked, do you have a handkerchief on you? She said, yes. Then he said, give it to me. Lady took the handkerchief immediately, gave it to Picasso. Picasso took his pen out and drew something very quickly. He took 30 seconds to draw something and gave it back to the lady and said, this is $1 million. If you sell this, it's going to fetch you $1 million. And the lady couldn't believe it. She had a quizzical look on her face. She had her eyebrows raised, and very reluctantly yet politely, she asked, Mr. Picasso, you say it's $1 million, but you took only 30 seconds to draw this. How could it be $1 million? And with a beautiful smile on his face, Picasso said, dear lady, it took me 30 long years to draw this in 30 seconds. It took me 30 long years to draw this in 30 seconds. Genius is a result of passionate, intense, committed work on a daily basis. N.R. Narayana Murthy, the founder of Infosys, once very famously said that it took him 25 years to become an overnight wonder. 25 years to become an overnight wonder. You sometimes hear about the success, but we don't hear about the amount of practice and amount of time that has gone into it. It requires daily effort. If you are putting in daily effort and you are putting the heart and soul into it every day, you ought to be a genius. You ought to be a great. Have an action plan for every day. Enjoy the preparation. Enjoy the journey so that the results become a formality. We did mention in one of the previous videos, right? Make the process of preparation supreme and results irrelevant. Make the process of preparation supreme and results irrelevant. If you enjoy the process of preparation, the results don't matter because they ought to be great. And you need to have a nice little action plan and always take care of these points. Point number 1, planning. You need to have a proper plan and write down your plan. To have it in your mind is one, but when you write it down, you get more serious about it, you get more organized about it. Number 2, focus. Focus is extremely important. You can't afford to get distracted. You must develop the art of saying no to people, no to anything distracts you from your goal. So master the art of saying no. It could be anyone, it could be the relatives, it could be the friends, it could be events, but you must say no to them if you have to achieve your goal. So anything that distracts you from your goal, it's a no. Fitness and diet. Both are very, very important. They go hand in hand. You need to eat right. You need to have the right kind of nutrition, and you also need to do the right kind of exercise to stay healthy, which is very, very important. You need to have a healthy body for a healthy mind to function, because if you are sick, if you are ill constantly, you really can't be anywhere close to your optimum performance. So take care of that. Then, relaxation, rest, which is very, very important. Sleep well. Sleep is very, very important. Jeff Bezos, one of the world's most famous entrepreneurs, the founder of Amazon, he makes it a point to sleep 8 hours a day without fail. You identify the best timing for you. You have a plan where at your best in the morning and you do the most difficult task in the morning, do that. You prefer sometime during the day, you do that. You prefer sometime during the evening or night, you do that. You know yourself the best. So have a proper plan to do that. It's very, very, very important. And also have a plan for a continuous self-evaluation. Be very honest when you evaluate yourself. That's very, very important. So have a plan, stick to it, and just fall in love with it and do it every day. Make every single day count, and greatness is awaiting you. Thank you so much. See you with the next video soon. Take care.